All right, so Esau basic plan is to fight against you. How about Shemar Shai, man, and the angels? When Yahweh Shai get the signal to come back to this planet, man. You know, Esau and his allies. You know, they're gonna be scared, but the Lord gonna put the spirit on them to fight them. But this is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days. I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. People going to be afraid when Yahweh Shai comes back with the angels, man. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. So not only is the army going to be afraid, behold, he cometh with clouds, and clouds represents the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots according to the Bible. And every eye shall see him, right? Everybody going to see Yahweh Shai's return. And they also which pierced him, which we know that represents reincarnation, because Yahweh Shai was pierced 2,000 years ago. All kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Right, so all these people going to be in mourning because of him, because they know what they have done, man. You know, and this is something that you ain't never seen before, man. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Slack. Let me get that precept too. This is Psalms. Chapter 68, verse 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Right, so in them UFOs is 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, you see, and that's how he coming back. As in Sinai in the holy place. Oh, I got one more. So like it. This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Right, when fire is from them laser beams, man. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Right, because he coming back for war. And he going to be angry because of what happened to the blacks and Latins and Native Americans through all these time periods, man. For by fire and by a sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. Right, so, you know how black folks are, or Israelites. When it's time to fight, it's time to fight. It ain't gonna be no more talking, you know. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right. So when so-called Jesus Christ come back, he only coming back for war, and that's to fight against these people, and because all the wickedness that's been done to the Israelites, man. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Right, and out of the sea means space. And who gonna try to subdue him? Esau and the rest of the nations. Hence the reason why they got this space command. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and that's the chariot. The chariot gonna be the size of a mountain, and flew upon it, and and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. That's how big it's gonna be. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Right, they were scared. They couldn't fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Right, that's them. The chariots gonna come back shooting laser beams like they show in the movies. Independence Day. Also the nuclear missiles. The Lord gonna have the nuclear missiles be shot. He gonna take control of the nuclear missiles, and have the nuclear missiles be shot on these nations and stuff, man. Verse 10 again, it says, "But I only saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one. Said that so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." Right, man. So when Yahushua comes back with the angels and them so-called UFOs, his is gonna be the size of a mountain, and they gonna fight. He gonna fight against Esau and his angels, like Revelation say, which is just talking about Esau and the other nations, because Esau gonna be fighting against the nations in the battle of Armageddon, and Yahushua gonna come back, and they're gonna end up coming together to fight against Yahushua. But the Lord gonna put the spirit on the nations to turn against Esau. This is Revelation chapter 17. So all this preparation and preparing that they're doing, all this money that they're putting into to these efforts to figure out how to fight and plan strategically and tactical to fight against the Lord, man, it's not gonna work, man. But the Lord wanted this. This is the Lord's program. This is His agenda. This is His movie. He wanted this to play out the way it's playing out. You know, this is Revelation chapter 17. This Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. It says, "These shall make war with the Lamb." The Lamb is Yahushua. The other nations are going to make war with Yahushua, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Hold on, let me see. And he said unto me, "The waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Right. So that's talking about the other nation, man. The 10 horns represents the what is it? The European Economic Community, um, which was established in what is it? 1958, if I'm not mistaken. But ultimately, it's the EU, the nations, or NATO. NATO and the EU are not the same, but the 28 nations. Damn, it's like it. Kind of, man, it's all over the place right now. 1 second. Oh, 1 second. All right. Yep. NATO, members of states of NATO North Atlantic Treaty Organization is an international alliance that consists of 30. Now it's 30. At first it was 28 member states from North America and Europe. It was established at the signing of the North Atlantic Treaty on the 4th of April 1940 49. All right, give me 1 second. Damn. It's like y'all can give me 1 second. I'm just looking for something. Yeah.